Imagine a Hollywood marriage that looked flawless from the outside, the kind of love story that made fans believe that maybe, just maybe, fairy tales could exist in real life. Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban were that couple. For almost 2 decades, they seemed untouchable. The smiles, the red carpet chemistry, the picture-perfect family portraits, everything about them screamed happily ever after. But then Nicole dropped a quiet bombshell. "I can't pretend anymore." Those 5 words shattered the illusion, leaving fans stunned and the media scrambling for answers. Because behind those perfect photos and anniversary posts, a darker, more complex truth had been quietly unfolding. This wasn't just a celebrity breakup. It was the unraveling of one of Hollywood's most glamorous unions, revealing love, betrayal, and the emotional cost of living in the spotlight. For years, their marriage had been the symbol of stability in an industry built on chaos. Nicole and Keith seemed to have found what most in Hollywood could only dream of: balance, loyalty, and real connection. But appearances can be deceiving. While Nicole immersed herself in her craft, taking on bold, challenging roles, Keith's life revolved around music, travel, and fame. Long tours kept him away for months, performing in front of tens of thousands, while Nicole was home juggling motherhood and filming commitments. That distance, physical and emotional, began to quietly eat away at their connection. Friends close to the couple started to notice subtle changes: quiet arguments, months spent apart, and an energy between them that didn't feel the same. What looked picture-perfect on social media was, behind the scenes, starting to fracture. Behind the glitz and glamour, behind the red carpet smiles and flawless family photos, Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban's marriage was quietly fraying. While outsiders saw a picture-perfect union, the truth was far more complex. Nicole, known for her dedication to her craft and her unyielding pursuit of challenging, meaningful roles, was immersing herself in projects that demanded not only her talent, but her heart. Her indie film, Baby Girl, became more than just a passion. It represented her artistic identity and her desire to grow beyond the roles that Hollywood often pigeonholes women into. But what should have been a source of pride became a surprising flashpoint in their relationship. Sources close to the couple suggest Keith openly expressed disapproval of the film, dismissing it not just as a project he didn't personally like, but as something that symbolized a shift in Nicole's priorities, a change he wasn't fully ready to embrace. Keith's life, on the other hand, was rooted in rhythm, travel, and the relentless pursuit of personal freedom. Months-long tours, late-night performances, and the constant pull of the spotlight created a lifestyle vastly different from Nicole's increasingly focused and disciplined routine. While Nicole was honing her craft, seeking depth in her roles, and managing family life, Keith was navigating a world of tour buses, recording studios, and nightlife, a world that often collided with the domestic stability Nicole valued. The contrast wasn't simply about careers, it was about identity and values. Nicole's desire for stability, meaningful engagement, and emotional depth was clashing with Keith's need for independence, adventure, and the exhilaration of life on the road. These lifestyle divergences slowly built tension that no public display could mask. Arguments that began as minor disagreements over schedules or priorities quietly escalated into deeper frustrations and unspoken resentments. Private moments, once filled with laughter and connection, turned into quiet evenings of distance, punctuated by tension and silent disappointment. Sources hint at subtle shifts. Nicole, once effortlessly patient and accommodating, became increasingly aware of the emotional gap between them, while Keith, perhaps frustrated by the pressures of expectation, appeared more restless and detached. What fans interpreted as normal challenges in a marriage was in reality a slow unraveling of intimacy and mutual understanding. Adding a further layer of strain, rumors began circulating about a new woman in Keith's life. Whether grounded in truth or fueled by speculation, these whispers created additional pressure in an already tense environment. Each rumor, each half-heard story compounded the emotional weight Nicole was carrying, intensifying the feeling that she was living in a marriage increasingly divided by unspoken truths. These private struggles weren't sensational, they were deeply human. Love, no matter how celebrated or admired publicly, was facing the quiet erosion caused by years of emotional misalignment, career pressures, and lifestyle divergence. By the time Nicole made her now famous declaration, "I can't pretend anymore," It was the culmination of nearly 2 decades of tension, patience, compromise, and silent endurance. It wasn't a reaction to a single fight or a passing disagreement. It was the release after years of accumulating differences, disappointments, and quiet heartbreaks. In this light, the divorce and its surrounding revelations aren't just headlines. They are a window into the complexities of marriage under the unrelenting scrutiny of fame, where love, loyalty, and personal growth collide in ways that are rarely visible to the public eye. Behind every public smile and Instagram post lay a private story of struggle, compromise, and the painful realization that even the strongest partnerships can fray when life pulls two people in different directions. This chapter of their marriage shows something both intimate and universal. Love doesn't always survive distance, difference, or unspoken frustration, no matter how celebrated the couple may be. Nicole's courage in speaking out wasn't about scandal. It was about reclaiming truth, honesty, and autonomy in a life where appearances often overshadow reality. And while the world may focus on the drama of rumored betrayals or financial clauses, the real story is far more profound. A reminder that behind the glittering surface of Hollywood, relationships are shaped not just by love and admiration, but by choices, compromises, and the quiet, invisible struggles that define the human heart. And then came the revelation that stunned even Hollywood insiders, the so-called cocaine clause. Hidden deep within their prenuptial agreement, it reflected Keith's well-known struggles with addiction in the early 2000s. Nicole, determined to protect herself and her future family, insisted on a provision. If Keith relapsed, she would retain all assets, but if he remained sober, he'd earn a hefty annual bonus, $600,000 for every year of sobriety. Over 18 years, that number climbed to more than $10 million. It's a fascinating intersection of love and business, loyalty and legality. Nicole had stood by him through rehab and relapses, and that clause became a reminder that even in love, Hollywood plays by its own set of rules, where devotion and protection are written into contracts. But beyond the money, the emotional cost was staggering. Court filings revealed that Nicole was awarded primary custody of their 2 daughters, Sunday Rose and Faith Margaret, with 306 days a year, leaving Keith with only 59. For Nicole, it was about stability and consistency for the children. For Keith, it was a painful reminder of what he'd lost, the day-to-day presence of his family. In Hollywood, custody battles often represent more than parental rights. They symbolize power, image, and emotional validation. And for this couple, the numbers told the story of 2 people growing apart, both emotionally and practically. Adding to the heartbreak is the sharp contrast between public image and private truth. Just months before filing, Nicole posted glowing anniversary tributes, calling Keith her rock, her heart. But even as fans celebrated their love online, custody documents were already being prepared. Behind those loving captions was a family quietly unraveling. And as whispers of Keith's midlife struggles grew louder, the narrative shifted. Nicole's final words, "I can't pretend anymore," became both a confession and a declaration of freedom. By speaking out, Nicole took control of her story. Instead of allowing speculation to define her, she drew her own line between truth and performance. She emerges now as composed and authentic, while Keith faces rumors of new relationships and ongoing personal battles. The divorce was handled with precision, custody set, assets divided, spousal support waived. Nicole retains her properties, her financial independence, and most importantly, her narrative. Keith walks away with his payout and his Nashville home, but beyond the money, the emotional fallout remains raw, and the story continues to evolve. So what can we really learn from this? Maybe it's that even the brightest stars can burn out under pressure. Maybe it's that love, no matter how passionate or glamorous, can't survive when 2 people stop moving in the same direction. Or maybe it's a reminder that behind every perfect Instagram post lies a story of compromise, tension, and emotional truth. Nicole Kidman's words, "I can't pretend anymore," aren't just the end of a marriage. They're a declaration of authenticity in a world built on illusion. And while the papers might be signed and the story legally over, the emotional echoes remain, reminding us that in Hollywood, love might be fleeting, but fame, fortune, and scandal are forever.